Well, finding your second act might not come quite so easily as it did for Pat. So we've invited Karen Hostetler from Next Chapter in Kansas City, Kansas, to give us her tips on how to best imagine a new career in the second half of life. Karen, it seems maybe strange to some of us that there would even be a need for a next chapter, but you say just the opposite.
People are interested in work for more than one reason. One is, with the potential for longer life now, folks really don't know how much money they may need over those final years of their life. And the second thing is that you have some sense of purpose and meaning in terms of what you'll be doing with your life. And for some people, volunteering can fulfill that, and for others, plugging in a work capacity is the way they'd like to go.
What does that look like from maybe that employer's standpoint?
There's a lot of discussion about soft skills. People who dress appropriately, show up for work, and show up on time. And those are things that people from a seasoned workforce would have done for many, many years. They've been counted on to have some ideas in terms of what next steps could be taken, but just how issues can be resolved in a positive way. You can't generalize every single person because they will all bring different kinds of skills and different backgrounds to the situation.
So you actually look into these people's resumes, skill sets, and say, hey, tailor what you already know, but maybe now take this little extra step that you probably didn't have a chance to do before.
In work situations, it's not uncommon that if I'm talking with someone that I would refer them, say, to the Career Center at Quincy, Kansas Community College or Workforce Partnership. So there are good options within the community, and part of a good Next Chapter program is to find ways to build into agencies and structures within our communities programs that can assist folks as they go through this transition. One of the things that we offer through Next Chapter Kansas City are 4 online Exploring Jobs courses for people. It's a curriculum that's been developed in cooperation with KCK Community College. They are exploring jobs in education, community engagement, and caregiving, and exploring green jobs. And by the end, our goal is that people will have some idea of 2 or 3 or 4 next best steps that they want to take in terms of maybe exploring a new career or job option.
You can find more information on Next Chapter Kansas City, as well as other resources for finding your own encore career at our website, imaginekc.org.